All right, everybody, welcome back to the Big Blue Dynasty series here on Madden 24. We are now setting up and preparing for the off season. This team has definitely been through quite a bit during 2023. The Giants ended the year 4-13, of which there was a 6-game losing streak to end the year. Very tough situation. 472 points against, only 349 points for. Kind of crazy that we actually had more points than the Commanders this year. So tough situation for us in that space. When you look at the stats here for the Giants, Daniel Jones ended up being a clear person that just doesn't seem to fit with what we're trying to do. 12 touchdowns, 16 interceptions before we decided to bench him. It was a tough decision. It was during week number 14 against the Packers, but the guy just kept throwing really bad throws. And for some reason, it seemed to be a very easy situation for people to want to catch his ball on the defensive side. So the decision was made to bench him, bring in Tommy DeVito, just kind of let him roll and go from there. One big positive was we did have a man that really kind of took the reins here and led the New York Football Giants offense, and it was Saquon Barkley. When you look at Saquon Barkley's stats, it's kind of crazy. He ended the year with over 300 carries. He had 1,800 yards with 5.9 yards per carry, 12 touchdowns, and he broke 44 tackles. He was an amazing player for us. The only thing that kind of kept us going. And when I see something like this, what it tells me is that we need to help him out. 300 carries is a lot. So when I see something like that, we need to kind of take into account who's going to play alongside him. He ended up with over 2,000 yards from the scrimmage, which was a great job, but only one receiving touchdown. But as you can see, his yards after carry, his yards after contact, along with his yards after receiving, pretty incredible. The receiving situation has a lot to develop. Jalen Hyatt was our lead receiver with over 40 over 642 yards. Saquon Barkley led the team with over 50 receptions, with almost about 60% of what Jalen Hyatt had. And the leader of touchdowns for us was Darius Slayton, who only had 24 receptions, but he had 600 yards. He was that guy that really could take off, and as you can see, once he caught the ball, he was gonzo. 81 yards was the longest receiving touchdown for him, and he played pretty well. Do we decide to let him go based on the current cap situation that we have with him? When you look at his contract, he's going to be about $7.75 million. If we cut him, we'll actually save closer to about $6 million of it. So that is good news, but I look at it as, can I find another receiver that's only $7 million with his capabilities? Maybe not. And it wouldn't be bad to have someone like that as a wide receiver 4 if necessary. From a blocking perspective, we had some issues. One of which is Evan Neal. Evan Neal finished the year with 900 snaps and 900 downs played, and he had 10 sacks. It just was kind of rough, and Glowinski honestly did pretty good playing right next to him, and that's a potential situation there where we may have to look at upgrading that entire right side, because after Justin Pugh, we don't know what's going to happen. I'd like to consider moving Evan Neal now over to left guard, giving him an opportunity to battle for that position alongside Andrew Thomas and JMS. I think that's going to be pretty nice for him, to be honest. I think he's going to have a chance to really develop into something. He'll be about a 75 overall as a guard. He's a little bit bigger and taller than Mr. Andrew Thomas, but I think him right next to him is going to be a good deal. So we'll see some great things along the way there. But that'll be the decision we're going to make. We're going to have to figure out a right tackle and potentially an upgrade at right guard, because I don't know how far Glowinski will regress. From a defensive perspective, Bobby Okereke led the team with 123 tackles, alongside Micah McFadden, who had a pretty decent year with over 100 tackles, 13 tackles for loss, and 2 sacks. Kerke had 3 sacks himself. Dexter Lawrence, as an interior lineman, ended up with the most tackle for loss and led the team with 9 sacks, ahead of edge rushers like Kayvon Thibodeau, Boogie Basham, and Azeez Ojulari. What I'm seeing there is I'd like to see if we can get more players that could create some opportunities for Dexter Lawrence to not be double teamed, or in some instances when I was playing, triple teamed. If we could find some legitimate edge rushers alongside Dexter Lawrence, maybe we could make that work out. And that's going to have a lot to do too with the potential new defensive coordinator we'll decide to bring in. From an interception perspective, Deonte Banks led the team with 4. No one else had more than 1. I think he had a really good game as a rookie, and I'm looking forward to seeing how he continues to develop. He almost had 100 tackles as well. But people were definitely going after him, trying to see if they could take him out and let him know what's up. So I'm hoping for some good things for there. He played 941 downs as a rookie, which is quite a bit. So when I see things like that, I'm really hoping for some more. Jason Pinnock is a player that I think could be really good for us. He's developing into something that could really help us out. And with where we're going right now, I think it's an opportunity for us to move him up to free safety, because I don't see us re-signing Xavier McKinney. Jason Pinnock to me is an epitome of just like that player that you just didn't expect to show out and show up. He's on a very, very cheap contract as well. He currently is only, he has no bonus, and next year he's only going to cost us $1 million to keep him on the roster, which for me, I think is going to be a big deal for us. So I'd like to see how we can kind of make that work for him. Hopefully draw him more interest as well, because it doesn't look like he's motivated to play for us after his contract's over. Xavier McKinney almost had 100 tackles, but like I said, I don't see myself signing him. I just didn't really see much there. And for about $8 million, $9 million, I just, or maybe even 10, I just don't really feel like that's going to be the case for us. I look at the players that had some tackles for loss, and you saw Boogie Basham, who to me is going to be a very, very nice piece for us. He's only a 73 overall, and what we'd like to do here is actually make him more of an official lineman. My hope is to put him inside the rotation there and give him an opportunity to really step up and flourish in that space. That may actually, yep, that'll move him up to a 75 overall as an official D lineman. I think he's better on the line than he is as a linebacker. We had no choice though with the injuries of Azeez Ojulari. Another person I want to kind of move around a little bit is rookie who will now enter his second year, Jordan Riley. I think he's more of a defensive tackle than he is a end. So my hope is that it'll allow him to kind of progress a little bit further, and maybe we'll see him kind of ball out. He didn't really play that much, really didn't do as much, but I think him moving up to a 67 overall in the interior shows we're going to leverage him for the better. As far as kicking is concerned, Randy Bullock, he did what he could for us while he was there, but I think it's time, you know, he's not going to be signed, and we're going to allow Graham Gano to get it done there. Gillen honestly did okay from a punting perspective. I believe we have him for another year. Yeah, we do. He's going to cost us $2.4 million, so we're going to have to think about that one too. But I'd say, you know, we just got to be a little bit better with him. He had 11 touchbacks this year, which I think hurt him quite a bit as far as the net average. We're going to have to focus on trying to kick those corner kicks along the way. But what are we going to do in this episode is really just focus on, you know, setting up until the draft, and then we will have a separate episode just for the draft, because I feel like that's going to be a fun episode with the real draft class to see where everyone goes. Now, we do have to fill in the staff, but we're just going to kind of move it along the way and just see what the playoffs will entail here. You got the Jaguars playing the Jets, Bills playing the Dolphins, Ravens playing the Bengals, Cowboys playing the Falcons, Saints playing the Lions, Packers playing the Eagles, and the byes are with San Francisco and with the Chiefs, which is quite surprising with the Niners, especially over the Eagles. Eagles have to figure out what they're going to do. Now that we've advanced it, let's just check and see who moved forward. Jaguars beat the Jets 28-14 with Zach Wilson. Then you have the Bengals beating the Ravens 24-0. Shocking right there, as the Ravens had a really good record, but they must have had some injuries or something, because that's kind of crazy. And the Bills beat up on the Dolphins. I think they swept the Dolphins too during the season. So now, during the regular season, so now it looks like they swept them for the full season. Beat them 3 times in a row. It's kind of crazy. So that's a pretty good game coming up with the Jaguars and the Bills. And then you got the Chiefs and the Bengals. I like that one. Cowboys barely beat the Falcons there 21-20. That's a little surprise. And then the Eagles beat the brakes off the Packers 35-21. Lions narrowly beat the Saints there 29-28. As we advance now to the conference championships, it looks like the Niners have a close one against the Cowboys. They beat them 31-27. And the Eagles get upset by the Lions. Oh my goodness. Lions take it down. Oh my goodness. They beat the Eagles. That is the biggest surprise so far I'm seeing right now in these playoffs, is that the Eagles get beat by the Lions 27-21. Chiefs beat the Bengals 31-21 there, so it looks like Mahomes might have figured out a way to get past Joe Burrow. And the Jaguars, they advanced the divisional round but can't get past the Bills. This is going to be a fun one there between the Chiefs and the Bills versus the Lions and the Niners. How much has changed from last year? Looks like Jared Goff might have a way to get back to the Super Bowl. So as we advance to the Pro Bowl, let's see who made it to the Super Bowl. Looks like the Chiefs, they get a close one there. Woo, baby, they beat the Bills by 1 point. It looks like, oh my gosh, that is sad. The Bills had the lead 14-7, 17-7 entering the fourth quarter, and then the Bills came back. Oh my gosh, what a game. That would have been cool to kind of watch that one. Bills had most time of possession as well. The defense just fell short due to some injuries. They gotta retool that defense, man. That's hurtful. And here's the thing, they played pretty well. 21 points only given up against a very high octane offense. Kind of crazy, but the Chiefs have an opportunity to repeat. Ooh, and then the Niners beat the Lions. The Cinderella story is over. Lions were actually tied until the fourth quarter, and the Niners look to have taken care of it there. Pretty good game. It looks like the red zone offensive percentage was the key, and the Niners did have more time of possession there. Third down conversions 5-3. That's key right there as well. 15 first downs each. And then the passing, it looks like, was pretty much shut down. It was down to the rushing game. So this was a grind kind of game. Ooh, man, that's kind of cool. The Niners and the Chiefs. Chiefs looking to make a repeat will be kind of crazy. Let's check out the Pro Bowl list here, see who made it. Looks like Josh Allen is going to be out there with Hurts, Prescott, Lamar, Trevor Lawrence, Derek Carr. Saquon Barkley makes the Pro Bowl, along with Aaron Jones, Jonathan Taylor, Derrick Henry, Mixon, Brian Robinson. Ooh, little surprise one there. You got KJ Osborne making it. Cooper Kupp, Olave, Chase, Parker Diggs, Devontae Smith over AJ Brown. Whoa. Marquise Hollywood Brown made it too. Ferguson makes it as a rookie. That's pretty cool. Musgrave as well. Look at that. Tyron Smith making it with Tunsil. Stanley's in there. Batonio. Kelsey. Jason Kelsey makes the Pro Bowl. Lane Johnson. Dexter Lawrence. Oh, that's DeMarcus Lawrence. Dang. That would have been cool if that was Dexter. Oh, it is. Dexter made it. Okay. All right. We'll take that one. And pretty good. I like what we saw. You know, we have our main guys making it, which is nice. And Jashaun Corbin making it as a punt returner. That's kind of a little cool thing right there. So now we're going to go ahead and advance it here to the Super Bowl. So usually in the Super Bowl, we get a chance to see the weekly awards, kind of see who made it, who won it. Jalen Hurts is the league's MVP over Pat Mahomes. Coach of the Year is Kyle Shanahan over Doug Peterson. That's kind of an interesting one right there. When you look at the Offensive Player of the Year, you got Jalen Hurts, followed by Ayuk, KJ Osborne, and Saquon Barkley was there. Defensive Player of the Year is Aaron Donald, followed by Micah Parsons, DeMarcus Lawrence, and Fred Warner. Offensive Rookie of the Year, no surprise, is Bijan Robinson for the Falcons, followed by Jahmyr Gibbs and Jackson Smith-Njigba. Defensive Rookie of the Year goes to Brian Branch. Well deserved, but look at this. Byron Young, Jalen Carter, Sidney Brown, and then Deonte Banks was number 5. That's kind of neat right there. Best QB goes to Jalen Hurts here in the NFC, along with Saquon Barkley being the best running back in the NFL over Christian McCaffrey. 2,000 yards from scrimmage can definitely show that one. You got some surprises here. KJ Osborne and Brandon Ayuk at the top. That's kind of weird. Frank Ragnow, best lineman. Best D-line is Aaron Donald. No surprise there. Danielle Hunter, best linebacker. That's kind of neat. Best DB, Marshawn Lattimore. Best kicker is Randy Bullock. So pretty cool. I think that's some good stats to kind of follow in that space. And let's see if there were any type of upgrades that you get for this kind of move. So when I look at the offensive side, I don't see anybody getting an upgrade. Dexter Lawrence still doing his thing. I don't see any upgrades on this end. So we didn't get any progression, dude. That's dirty. Randy Bullock looks like he got one. So we will go ahead and advance it now to see who wins the Super Bowl. So it looks like the Chiefs beat the San Francisco 49ers in a very high scoring one, but the Chiefs kind of got away from the Niners there, 45-28. That is a lot of points. Pat Mahomes becoming the Super Bowl MVP for the second time in a row. Kind of crazy right there to see that. 45-28, it's kind of insane, but you know, it is to be expected when, Andy Reid kind of figures it out for him. That's very crazy for us. We'll check out the retirements real quick, see what happened there. Looks like Case Keenum ends up retiring. We see Kyle Van Noy, Roger Saffold, Brian Hoyer calls it a career. Brandon Williams, Adam Thielen's done. Dwayne Brown, Al Woods, Randy Bullock has decided to retire along with Tyrod Taylor. Big surprise right there. Trent Williams calls it a career. He makes it to the Super Bowl and he says he's done. Calais Campbell says 16 years was enough. Julio Jones and Brandon Graham retire after this year. And it looks like Kelsey is staying for one more year. You got Rodney McLeod, Melvin Ingram, Linval, and guess what? Aaron Rodgers is coming back, man. Oh, baby, this is going to be cool. Aaron Rodgers is coming back another year. Uh-oh. That's going to be kind of cool to see right there. So as far as offensive coordinators, we got to think about who we're willing to bring back, right? We could say, you know what? We're going to bring back Brian Dable. Say you are going to be our OC. Could do that. Anytime you bring a head coach in, they will start their whole thing over, the development over. So we got to take that into account. My thing is that Giants playbook was not that great for us. Todd Bowles' offense isn't really high octane. I think I could see more with the Chargers. So we're going to go ahead and hire Seth Henry as our offensive coordinator. So we're going to go ahead and hire Brian Harper here. So we're going to be using the 3-4. So the staff that's going to help out Julius Klein is going to be Seth Henry, coming over from the Chargers playbook. It's a vertical power run scheme, followed by Brian Harper, who I believe is a 4-3 under, but I think it's like a 3-4. We'll check that out real quick when we move over to that playbook. We'll look at the scheme and see how that feels. So there are a couple players that I'd like to view. It looks like Xavier McKinney, he knows that his days are done. We will go ahead and move on from him. Isaiah Simmons was interesting, but I think we're having some great luck right now with Micah McFadden. So I'd probably look at bringing in some depth in that space versus trying to keep him. When I look at Adoree Jackson, he's looking for just something, just $6 million to come back. I just feel like it's probably best. He'll be an 80 overall. It's probably best to move on. He'll have an 81 coverage. I think he'll, you know, when I'm looking at this, I don't think that's bad, but I think Cordell Flott can play the slot for us, and we're going to find a new CB1. So we wish Adoree the best of luck. Isaiah Hodgins is looking for a big contract, and it just is not the right fit for us at this time. Harris Campbell, no way. Sterling Shepard, I hope he finds a home, man. 76 overall, Gnome Dev, good luck. Darnay Holmes, no way. Ashawn Robinson for $5 million. Let's see how much he dropped. So he didn't regress actually at all. A lot of it just has to do with the morale. If we take away that morale there, he'll be a 71 power move, 79 block shed, and it'll be 81 awareness. So would Ashawn Robinson kind of fit with what we want to do? I don't know, but he doesn't really want to work for us, and it doesn't seem like he's the right scheme fit for us as well. So when I look at these players here, anybody that's in red, I know I'm going to have to spend way more money to bring them back. The only one I'm considering right now to bring back out of all the players that are here is going to be, the only player I'm looking to bring back is going to be Tyree Phillips. Now Tyree is looking for a little bit of money, and in my opinion, having a very well-versed tackle makes a whole lot of sense. My hope is he's willing to come back for us for a little bit more of a pay bump, and I think $2.5 million is fair as a back. And it looks like he's not willing to sign, so we aren't going to have anybody coming back here and signing with the Giants, it looks like. That's tough. That's a lot of players there. That's 26 players that are currently out there, or 20-something players, so we'll see what happens in that space. Before we advance, let's check out the mock draft that they have for us right now. We are going to be pick number 1. Oh, we got the number 1 pick. Oh my gosh. And with the number 1 pick, it looks like the Giants are going to have a shot at the player that everybody is really hoping that we get in real life. I thought we were pick number 2. Holy crap, we are pick number 1. So it looks like there's a shot that Caleb Williams comes to the New York Football Giants. It looks like the Bears there in this mock are saying, you know what, we're going to take Marvin Harrison first because we know the Cardinals won't take a quarterback. Cardinals are going to take Jared Verse, and then the Bears will come back and take Drake May. Commanders looking at Olu Fashanu. The Vikings are going to get a shot at getting their quarterback for the future in Michael Penix. Buccaneers aren't going quarterback, and they're going to take right tackle J.C. Latham, which doesn't make any sense because Tristan Wirfs is on that team. They would take a left tackle more than a right tackle. Emeka Egbuka going to the Patriots. Kool-Aid McKinstry to the Rams. Cooper DeJean to the Chargers. Brock Bowers falling to the Colts. That's a weird one, but I'm glad they didn't take quarterback in this mock. Leatu Latu. That makes a whole lot of sense right there. Amarius Mims to the Raiders. Dallas Turner. That's kind of nuts. So Will McDonald and Dallas Turner will reunite their Alabama edges. Just DeMeco Ryans is building up that defense. Kalen King to the Broncos to pair up with Surtain. That's going to be a crazy pair. Joe Alt falling all the way to the Titans in this mock. JT Tuimoloa from Ohio State going to the Steelers, so building up that group. Chop Robinson with the second Cardinals pick going to them there. Nate Wiggins to the Packers. So they're trying to find that guy to pair up with Jair Alexander. Safety Cameron Kitchens, that's a weird one there. I would think quarterback. Oh, and actually no, they got Derek Carr. So maybe, I don't know, I would think maybe O-lineman, but maybe there's not enough. Leonard Taylor here to the Falcons. Xavier Worthy from Texas going to the Jets. Oh man, that's going to be a scary group together. Mason Smith going to the Dolphins. Talais, right tackle, going to the Ravens. So I think the Ravens are trying to figure out how to build up that O-line once again. Malik Neighbors to the Cowboys. Xavier Legette going to the Bengals. They re-signed T. Higgins, They re-signed Tyler Boyd. They got Jamar Chase. I don't know why Leggett would go there. That's a weird one for me. So maybe that'll, fix itself. And then the Eagles, since they got Jason Kelsey back, they still got Lane Johnson. That O-line is just getting better. They're going to bring in more defense. They just lost Brandon Graham to retirement, so they're bringing in Braylon Trice in this mock. Lions don't really need to do much, I guess, from an offensive standpoint. They got Jamison Williams there, Josh Reynolds. You got Amon-Ra St. Brown, Sean Laporta, Jahmyr Gibbs, David Montgomery. Just beef up the defense. They're going to go free safety, Kalen Bullock. And this is a good one, I think, in my opinion, there for the Bills. You got Stephon Diggs. They may have let Gabe Davis go, but you finally find somebody to pair up with Diggs that could be really dangerous on the outside, and that's Keon Coleman. Niners, now that they have Trent Williams retiring, Graham Barton goes to them, and then Kingsley Suamataia going to the Chiefs. They're the Super Bowl champions. Pretty good mock in my opinion. I actually like what I'm seeing in that space. The logic makes sense there. At least someone's not picking it up like I had in my previous in my Xavier Klein series. Caleb Williams went to the Colts. It was so weird, but looks like the Giants get a chance to get their QB. See how it works out for them or for us. So now that we're advancing it here, looks like some additional retirements have occurred. Jerry Hughes seems to be the new one here. Case Keenum, Nick Bellore, and Tyler Lawson. I'd like to see if there are any surprise releases out there to prep us out. Nick Mullins is someone that could be interesting here. Pat Peterson gets released. That could be an interesting one for the Giants. Ben Skoranek. Joseph Noteboom gets cut. Ooh. See, there, some of this stuff is more for me. It's about depth, right? We currently, right now, as a team, have 45 players on the roster. We got a lot of players to fill in. We got $53 million in available space. I'd like to see what the combine results show for some of these guys, specifically around how did Caleb look for the combine. It looks like the guy's pretty freaking good. I didn't scout him because him and Drake May, I didn't feel like it was necessary. We know they're good. I'm not really worried about the top quarterbacks. I'm not worried about. It's really the other players that I'd like to see out there. One person that comes to mind for me, I'm really is there's a guy I was looking for here in the draft that I was like, man, I kind of want to see what he can do. Maybe it was O-lineman. Yeah, right tackle. I'm definitely in need of a right tackle. Looks like the top ones are gonna get picked. So do we do that dangerous thing of trying to convert a left tackle? It looks like the top 4 are going to be taken. It also looks like here, Patrick Paul does not look like, from an OVR standpoint, he's going to be that solid. But, oh my gosh, his combine looks pretty horrible too. But that's one of those projected guys. Looks like Cooper Beebe is not doing so good. Jordan Morgan, maybe. What this all tells me is we may have to look at bringing in a veteran tackle. So that means we're probably going to have to spend some money on a tackle if possible, because everybody is not looking good. Guyton looks to be not so great. So, or do we trade up? I don't know about all that. I do not know about all that. Corners were a group that I wanted to check out. The one person I was looking at was Iowa State TJ Tampa. B zone coverage, B man coverage, 6'2", is considered a slot. Not the craziest of speeds, change of direction, says solid. Some of the other guys that are on this thing, man coverage, Denzel Burke, I'd have to do some more digging. Kalen King, if he fell to the second round, boy, oh boy, would that be good. I just don't think it's going to happen. He's not the fastest guy, but he can press, and I think that to me is worth a lot with the kind of defense I'm hoping to run in this one. I'd love to see if we can find some more interior alignment here. It doesn't look like anyone is a scheme fit, but for me, it's about finding the dogs. You got Byron Murphy here, 6'1", 308. This guy's a big dog. Looks like he's pretty strong. And as a day 3 pick, could be a nice little find for us. So we'll continue to try to check out these players along the way. So good to see the combine going in that space. Now let's check out here potential free agents. So how we have it set up to make it very difficult across the board is that we only get to pick up 1 person per evaluation period here in stage 1. So up to 3 players in stage 1. In stage 2, we could pick up to 3 players per evaluation. So that's 9 players in stage 2. And then it's a free-for-all in stage 3. Here's my thing. When it comes to stage 1 and stage 2, I cannot look for any players in the red. If they are in the red, I have to wait until the 3rd stage. If they're available, go for them. It's a free-for-all there. But stage 1 and stage 2 are for players that are not in the red for me. That's more fairness because the chances of bringing those guys over, it's very rare. So let's think about some potential backups, right? Who would be out there? Who could we look at? Looks like Baker Mayfield's looking for a home. It looks like Kirk Cousins is looking for a home. There's some decent guys out there. Now, which one fits us? Looks like there's some low OVR guys here. I'd be down to bring one in if they were a potential mentor. Looks like Tannehill is a low OVR guy. We'll see what happens there. Nick Mullins could be interesting too. Halfbacks, looks like Dalvin Cook's finding a new place along with AJ Dillon. Now, because this is only 1 player you can pick up, you're going to see a lot of people being left in the initial stages because it's all about getting the best of the best. Gabe Davis is out there, along with Curtis Samuel, Odell Beckham Jr., Kendrick Bourne, Rashid Shaheed. I'm shocked Rashid Shaheed left the Saints, but they probably don't have a whole lot of money. Knowing where we're at with the wide receiver group, we're going to have to figure out what's important to us. But any of these players here, the only one that's intriguing is Rashid Shaheed, but I'm not about to use my very first pick for that. When you look at the tight ends, you got Hunter Henry here, who would be very intriguing for us. But again, I'm not trying to spend that first one. For me, it's about looking at the O-line. Jonah Williams looking for a new home. Josh Jones, Tyron Smith, but as you can see, they're all red. No one wants to play for us in this space. And to be honest, I don't think we need to look at a left tackle. Potentially a left guard, maybe. I'd like to look for somebody that's got some decent possibilities here. I'm looking for backups, right? Now, these guys right here, Nutain Muti could be very fun to have behind Evan Neal because that's a good depth piece that I know can work out. Even Matt Hennessy. Centers, looks like Connor McGovern's out there. For me, I would try to see if I could find a mentor for JMS if they're out there, but it looks like Tyler Shatley is not going to be there for a little bit. Kevin Zeitler has been cut and released and not extended by the freaking Ravens. And it looks like Cesar Ruiz doesn't want to play for us either. He looks to be not a scheme fit at all, which is a little tough for me, man. Cesar Ruiz was the player I'd definitely be interested in. Now, as far as tackles are concerned, doesn't look like a whole lot of players want to play for us. The best tackle that's out there that would like to play for us is Jack Driscoll. And that's not good. Chris Hubbard. Man, this is not good. So we're going to have to figure out that piece right there. Who could we potentially bring in to help us out? Isaiah Prince. Maybe. I think Jack Driscoll could be the guy we look at from a depth piece for sure. Now, is there anybody that wants to play for us that is a good lineman maybe? So that's the first one that I think about right now. Leonard Williams. So this is the thought that's what's going on around the league, that Leonard Williams was willing to leave the New York Football Giants for this year to try to go after a playoff, but would love to come back and play potentially for the Giants. Having somebody like that could be quite interesting, right? The reason why I say that with Leonard Williams is because there's a big tie with Dexter Lawrence, and with what the Giants did for him, according to his agent, he may want to come back. And he's looking for a pretty big deal here. He's 30 years old, so he's looking for a 3-year deal, about $11 million each. That's honestly not that bad. I wouldn't be screaming, about anything there, but what I would do is just probably move him to left end or DT and kind of see how that would work out. That's a good one. The other person I'm considering right now is AJ Epinesa. He's not asking for a whole lot of money. The financials work out. We fit his scheme. We're coming over from Buffalo. We have ties to Buffalo. That could be a very nice little play right there. This one is the one that I would love to bring in. We've been having some issues of finding somebody that can pair up properly with Kayvon Thibodeau. Azeez Ojulari is what it is. He's okay, but he's got injury issues, and the guy's always freaking out. If I was going to spend some money on a player, Josh Allen would 100% be it. It would cost me about $20 million a year. It would be a huge chunk of change for us, but Josh Allen would be stupendous if he was on the Giants. Now, a lot of teams are going after him, so we're going to have to spend some money if we decide to do that. I'm not looking at middle linebackers, but it'd be interesting to see what's out there. Devin White paired up with Okereke, it would be kind of fun. My issue with that is I just don't see that happening for us because I really like what Micah McFadden's doing. Players that I would consider bringing in from a depth piece would probably be like someone like Kenneth Murray, but I don't know, maybe Raekwon McMillan could be a nice little depth piece for us in that interior. Quan Alexander, Jack Gibbons could be another one. So there's some guys here that I'm willing to consider. I just don't see myself going after. Kenneth Murray would be fun. Shaq Barrett's out there. My goodness. Travis Gibson could be an interesting one. I could bring in Frank Clark potentially here. Okay. Now, are there any corners that want to play for us? Oh, baby, there is. L'Jarius Sneed, dude. L'Jarius Sneed, Levi Wallace, Adoree Jackson. All these guys want to play for us. Kyle Fuller would love to play for us. So there's some people that would like to play here. Greedy Williams has some ties, as we did have his brother drafted, Rodarius Williams, who was later cut. Greedy Williams could be fun. He's got some good speed on him. But L'Jarius Sneed, he's the guy, man. So it's between two pieces right now. We can bring in L'Jarius Sneed, who has ties to our defensive coordinator that we brought in from the Chiefs. That could work out for us. Free safety, looks like McKinney is out there. He would love to come back and play for us now, it looks like, which is kind of weird because when I was looking at him, he was red. I don't know why he has decided to change his mind, but I don't see myself going after him. Strong safety, though, this one would be fun. I could see myself looking at a strong safety. Terrell Edmonds, Adrian Amos, good veteran, I think could kind of work out, and then we draft a strong safety. That could be a plan there because we got Dane Belton. No, maybe we don't need to draft him. Maybe we're just bringing some good veterans to kind of work through that. That could be an interesting one there. We don't need a kicker. We don't need a punter. So that's where we're at. It's between two players right now that I'm considering. It's going to be Josh Allen or L'Jarius Sneed. Having a corner like Sneed would be very good, but the player that I always wanted to have on this team was Josh Allen. And this is hilarious because that was the Daniel Jones. Josh Allen was right there available at pick number 6 during that draft, and Josh Allen ended up not getting picked up. So as much as I would love to try to go after Josh Allen, I think realistically, having someone like L'Jarius Sneed here could be really, really good for us. I'm willing to pay this man probably a decent percentage here, and that would still give us a whole lot more room than going after Josh Allen. So the eval is over, and it looks like the New York Football Giants have themselves a new corner. L'Jarius Sneed coming over from Kansas City. This guy has all the abilities that we want, and to have him play alongside Deontay Banks locks down our group, which I'm super happy about. So I'm glad we got that done there. Oh boy, Terrell Edmonds has decided to sign with us. Big steal in the last stage of this free agency. Huge steal for us, as we now have Terrell Edmonds. So to summarize, here are the players we decided to bring in this free agency. Nothing too crazy outside of the bigger play here in L'Jarius Sneed. We wanted to bring him in. We have an outside line corner now to tie up with Deontay Banks. I think that's a fair move for us. We went ahead and brought in a one-year rental on Odell Beckham Jr. He's 31 years old. $10 million deal is more than fair. But I wanted to bring someone that could be reliable for our potential rookie quarterback. I also brought in a steal here in Kendrick Bourne. I think this is nasty. I don't know how we got him, but this is a steal in Kendrick Bourne. We didn't have to spend a whole lot of money on him. A $1 million bonus, $4.5 million is more than fair. This is crazy. We got a steal in Terrell Edmonds. I thought this was a good move for us. I think this is going to be really helpful and allow us to move forward. Laviska Shenault didn't cost us any bonus money, no guarantees. He's going to try out in the preseason and we'll see if it works out. Ezekiel Elliott, we brought him in. He's the guy that I would like to just see if he could pound the rock. Him alongside Saquon Barkley, Eric Gray, Brightwell might be the odd person out, but I think that's going to be the move for us. We have a corner here I brought in for Greedy Williams, not costing us a whole lot of money, and I think this is going to help us out in the long run. You're talking about a corner that can play slot, he could play on the outside, and we need that kind of versatility out there. We brought in Trevis Gibson, again, a guy who's not asking for a whole lot of money. He's got some ability. The only reason why he didn't make it is the odd person out with Montez Sweat now over there in Chicago. We brought in some depth in Nutain Muti to play left guard behind Evan Neal. So if Evan Neal doesn't turn out right, I know I can have a reliable guard right there. I brought in a steal in Yash Nijman. This is a player who I think could play a very good left-right tackle for us until we figure things out. It allows me some space and some possibilities if we can't get the right tackle in the first 2 rounds. I brought in Zach Bond, who I think can play very good in the rotation, could help us in special teams. The player right now in Deontay Thompson, I think for us, will probably play a better free safety backup than a strong safety. Because with Terrell Edmonds there now, I'd love to see Deontay Thompson play that role there. So he's not going to be a scheme fit. He's pretty much a scheme fit. So we'll kind of work out with that one. We also brought in a veteran in Tarvarius Moore, who I think can really work out for us as well. We have depth in Jack Driscoll coming over from the Eagles. He also has good awareness, and in my opinion, again, it just helps us with the tackle setup. And then we brought in a mentor in Andy Dalton. So pretty good group of players. We have about $1.68 million in cap space now. Everything else is available for our rookie draft, but I think that's a more than fair deal there. As far as private workouts are concerned, I am definitely focused on making sure that we have the guys here. I think after this move, we should see if everybody at 100%. So what I am looking at, or I want to make sure we snag up, is ensuring that we have the right fit at tackle. Everyone here is showing me where they're at. I want to know, is Tala East going to be that guy for us? As far as, looking at the defense, I need to know, do we have enough depth on the defense to really ensure our guys are going to be okay? I would say from a defensive perspective here, I'm really interested in some of these guys in the later rounds. Day 3, specifically in Landon Jackson. As far as any other spot, I don't know if I'm really excited about the rest of the defensive line. Defensive tackles, maybe, but I think with what we have, I need to know what we have in our guys in DJ Davidson and Jordan Riley behind Dexter Lawrence. Linebacker is where I feel like we need to hit. And we need to be making sure that we are in a very good spot, right? I see someone like Princely Umanmielen as a potential guy, but I am very interested in making sure that we hit in this spot, man. I need to make sure we're good with these players here. Corners, I'm okay if we can't figure out the right corner situation. I think free safety is up in the air, but it's not the end-all be-all for me right now. I'm okay with not hitting the safeties. I think we got enough depth right there to feel comfortable. So I want to make sure we hit in one particular spot, okay? It is the wide receiver. I need to know we are good in the wide receiver group. You got Troy Franklin right there, who could be very slick. This guy is 6'3", 187. He's very thin. But this is, again, I need to know, can we find the right wide receiver for the guy that we're going to be drafting? You got Jalen Polk out there. You got Roman Wilson from Michigan. I need to know, are we going to find a person in this spot to really help my guy out? So when I look at all these pieces here, I have to be very smart and make sure that we're snagging up a guy in this draft that I can lean on. I need to know, do we got Adonai Mitchell? So we're going to look at three players: a right tackle in Talise, we're going to look at a left end in Landon Jackson, and we're going to look at a wide receiver in Adonai Mitchell. Those are the three players there that I'd like to look at. When you look at the mock draft, not much has changed as far as the top 5 is concerned. Caleb Williams is looking like he's going to be a New York Football Giant. You got Marvin Harrison Jr. going to the Bears. The Cardinals do not go after a quarterback as they got Kyler Murray, but they're going to load and bring in a tackle in Olu Fashanu to help out Mr. Kyler Murray. The Bears do, however, decide to draft a quarterback, and it's going to be Drake May. Jared Verse is going to the Commanders. Michael Penix, Kool-Aid. It looks like most of the spots are pretty much set. Cooper DeJean to the Chargers is kind of neat. J.C. Latham to the Raiders. Leatu Latu. Jerzon Newton. He's gonna fall to the Texans. I thought they were gonna go Dallas Turner, but it's looking like Jerzon's gonna go to the Texans here at number 14. Kalen King stays the same. Chop Robinson, surprise right there. I thought tackle, but interesting on that spot. Keon Coleman going to the Steelers in this mock. That's crazy, but maybe George Pickens is the odd person out, or maybe they're gonna roll with Deontay Johnson playing slot. Who knows? Mason Smith, the second pick for the Cardinals, going. That's actually kind of cool. They get a tackle and they get a defensive tackle. Nate Wiggins there. Looks like Joe Alt is solidified to be the tackle for the Saints. So I don't know what that does with Trevor Penning. Maybe we can trade for Trevor Penning, right? Maybe we move Trevor Penning to right tackle, or maybe he's an eventual right guard. Who knows? There's some thoughts there now. And I'm thinking that there could be some potential players. Xavier Worthy going to the Jets to play with Aaron Rodgers. Leonard Taylor going to the Falcons. Rome Odunze. So it was Keon Coleman. Now it's Rome going to the Dolphins. Dallas Turner falling all the way to the freaking Ravens is insane. Graham Barton going to the Cowboys. Kalen Bullock going to the Bengals. Malik Neighbors, wide receiver, to the Jaguars. That's actually a right move for them. You got Calvin Ridley, you got Christian Kirk. I think that's a good move for them. JT heading to the Eagles, so they still find the defensive player. It's just going to be a different one, but it's for Ohio State Cat. You got Kingsley going to the Lions. That one's kind of interesting there because they do got Trevor. I mean, they got Decker, so I don't know. And then Xavier Legette, wide receiver to the freaking Bills. Ooh, that's going to be a good move for them. They don't have Gabe Davis, so that's actually not a bad move. Oh yeah, Keon Coleman was who was supposed to fall here. Talais, it looks like he's going to make it to the freaking Niners. And then Tyler Guyton to the Chiefs. So interesting moves. I think for us, when I see this, I think with our two second round picks, if I want a right tackle, I'd have to move up maybe with the Jaguars to get that done. That could be kind of rough right there. Or with the Dolphins maybe to make that move. I'd have to skip to get Joe Alt in order for that to work. And I would have to move up, which means I'd probably have to give up a first next year. A second round. I'd have to give up 2 second rounders probably and a third round next year to even get the Saints pick. And that would be rough. That would help the Saints from a cap perspective, but it is what it is there. Interesting group in this draft. So that's a pretty good draft right there. As far as the free agency recap, let's see where everyone else signed. It looks like Tyron Smith is going to be the left tackle for the Tennessee Titans. I don't think that's a bad move there. It costs about $21 million. Josh Allen is also heading to the Titans. So Vrabel loading up, spending some cap money, and I think they're going to see, hey, you know what? We got Will Levis. He's our guy. Let's see if he can do it. Gabe Davis saying, Jared Goff, I'm your guy. Me, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jameson Williams. Let's get it done. Michael Pierce, a veteran, going to the Rams. Grover Stewart heading to the Vikings. Leonard Williams is going to be a Bear. I don't think that's a bad move for him, man. He got his money, $22 million, 3-year deal. Bears have the cap to do it. Jordan Brooks leaves Seattle and he's going to Las Vegas. He got paid $30 million to head to Las Vegas. Grant Delpit leaves the Browns. He's going to the Jags. Devin White, ooh, that's actually a good move. He's going to the Broncos. Connor Williams heading to the Texans. Bolstering that line. That's a good move for them. Curtis Samuel going back to Carolina to hang out with Bryce Young. Xavier McKinney, he's going to the Titans. We wish him the best of luck there in the AFC. Kevin Zeitler heading to the Cardinals. That's a great move. I think that O-line for the Cardinals is about to get stupid. Deshaun Elliott going to the Steelers. Bobby Wags is going to the Vikings. With Grover Stewart, man, that defense got good. Marcus May heading to the Broncos, trying to create that no-fly zone there. Levi Wallace going back to Pittsburgh. Josie Jewell to the Lions. Jadeveon Clowney to the Rams. That's a good one. 1-year rent. Oh, wow, he actually got paid, though. He got paid $41 million to play there as a veteran. Oof. Alongside Aaron Donald. Adoree Jackson. He got a cheap deal. He's going to the Rams. AJ Dillon's going to the Rams. So they're done with any potential experiment with Kyren Williams. So they're going to be hard-nosed there. Dalvin Cook going to the Cardinals. He's trying to figure out a way to get paid. Hunter Henry, reliable wide tight end. He got a 4-year deal for about $40 million heading to play with Joe Cool. Patrick Peterson going back to the Cardinals. Rashid Shaheed is a Commander. So he is going to get paid, and now I got to play against him twice a year at least. Shaq Barrett was a player I was hoping would have made it to us, but it did not. He's going to be playing for the Lions. Willie Gay leaves the Chiefs, and he's going to play for the Vikings. Shaq Griffin's going to the Texans. Marcus Peters to the Lions. Mitch Morse helping bolster the offensive line for the Jaguars. Isaiah Simmons playing alongside... there was a cat that's over there. So Simmons is going to be playing middle linebacker along with, I think it's not Jordan Brooks. Ooh, that's going to be a fast Vegas team in the interior. Isaiah Hodgins going to the Titans. That's not a bad move. So another Giant heading to Tennessee. Drew Tranquil there. Doesn't look like the Bears did a whole lot. Cesar Ruiz going to the Lions. I don't know why they did that. They got Jonah Jackson at right guard, I think. Oh no, he's at left guard. Maybe they need to bolster the right guard. I don't know. Van Ginkel going to the Chiefs. Kenneth Murray. Oh, this is disgusting. They got a really good linebacker, so I got to go against him twice a year. Leaving the AFC, going to the NFC. Uchi going to the Falcons. That's a great pickup. DJ Jones. So what happened to the quarterback? Baker Mayfield is a Raider. So the Aiden O'Connell game is over. He gets paid about $40 million for 3 years to go play for the Raiders. So the Raiders are saying, you know what? We're not going for a quarterback. We want a veteran to hang out, to help out Devontae Adams. That's what we want. Jimmy Garoppolo is still there, but I don't think he's going to be doing much. And that's kind of nuts. Sam Darnold is going to go play backup for the Vikings. Teddy Bridgewater is going to the Vikings. And there is no... I wonder who's going to go after Kirk. That's going to be Matt Breida going to the Chiefs. Ooh, speed, speed, speed. Gabe Davis, man. Chase Claypool going to the Bears. He goes back to the Bears. That's funny. Oh, Jonah going to the Chiefs. Zeitler. Yeah, some of these are good. Etergos Matos. That's who I was looking for. Just couldn't get to us in time. He's going to the freaking Commanders. Man, I don't... the Bears actually didn't do much. Josh Allen to the Titans is going to be kind of nuts. We'll see what that does for that team. Shaq Barrett to the Lions. Man, oh man. So now that we have the players that, for the free agency, this sets us up for the draft, right? We're going to set the stage there and see how it goes. The Giants are honestly in a good spot. I think we've done all the things that we needed to do. We've rearranged, you know, when you look at what we have here, we're going to see, you know, Andy Dalton here mentoring Daniel Jones and the future quarterback. You're going to see Evan Neal now taking a chance to rock out there. Nutain Muti. He seems pretty excited to be here, but he's not going to make it. I think he's going to drop down to a 73 after it's all said and done. So before the draft, this is how we have our current setup. And I'm hoping this will work out, but you never know. You know, after the draft is all said and done, we'll probably definitely see some tweaks. But the lineup is as follows. Andrew Thomas at left tackle. We're going to move Evan Neal at left guard. John Michael Schmitz at center. Mark Lewinsky at right guard. Yash Nijman at right tackle. Darren Waller, Daniel Bellinger, and Vokalek will be our tight ends. Wide receivers are Jalen Hyatt, Odell Beckham Jr., Darius Slayton, Laviska Shenault, and Wan'Dale Robinson, along with Kendrick Bourne. So that's actually going to be really fun to see how these guys kind of work out. And we'll probably look at trying to bring in some other guys in the draft. Running backs are going to be Ezekiel Elliott with Saquon Barkley paired up with Eric Gray and Brightwell, trying to fight to see who's going to make the team there in that space. Daniel Jones, Andy Dalton, Tommy DeVito at quarterback, but Caleb will be heading to New York. On the defensive side, you got Jason Pinnock at free safety with Terrell Edmonds coming in for a very big discount. And we got Deontay Thompson, Tarvarius Moore, Dane Belton there at safety. So the safety group looks pretty good. The linebacking group is Okereke, Micah McFadden, Trevis Gibson, and Azeez Ojulari with Zach Bond. So that's going to be fun. And we got Darian Beavers here too. So we'll see how all that works out. The corners are L'Jarius Sneed, Devontae Banks, Cordell Flott, Greedy Williams, and Aaron Robinson. The defensive line is Kayvon Thibodeau is going to be moving down to the end there, along with Dexter Lawrence, DJ Davidson, Jordan Riley, and Boogie Basham as the ends. Special teams, Gillen and Gano still doing work there. And then the specialist roles, you know, we're going to see some of these guys kind of work out and see how it all kind of ties in. But I really want to move Ezekiel Elliott to the power back move. I think I want to give Saquon Barkley a little bit more opportunity to just take some time away where we can. So that's going to be fun, and that's where we'll do it there. Looking forward to this one. I think I can advance it one more time. We'll see what we can do here. Just double check. I think we should be able to. Yep, this is where we will leave it. I want to see if maybe we can, if those private workouts did advance some stuff. Let's double check that real quick before we end this one. So the wide receiver, I think I was looking at the guy from Texas, Adonai. So Adonai moved up to 90%. He's got a B release with an A deep route. He's not the fastest guy. He's got a decent vert to him. So Adonai Mitchell, deep route, good. He's actually good run blocking too. So he might be a pretty good player for us from that standpoint. The other player we were looking at was right tackle Tally East. It looks like he would be a second rounder for sure. So maybe he falls to us. Maybe he doesn't, but we would have a very great opportunity to go after him here. I think that's the right move for us in the long haul. If we can grab this right tackle, then I think that solidifies that O-line for the future. The other person I was looking at was a day 3 guy, and it was Landon Jackson, who looks to fit as a day 3 coming out of Arkansas, 6'7", 281. I think this is a player that could be really surprising in day 3. A finesse move, a power move, like that's a player that could really make some changes for us. So, you know, we're gonna see how that works out. I don't know what's gonna happen, right? Like, there's definitely some players here that might, you know, we're gonna make a board and we'll probably have that as some, you know, shorts to kind of give everyone a chance to see what we're gonna try to do there. And I'm looking forward to this, man. That this team's got some really, really good players to set us up. I think the defense is in a really good spot. I think the offense needs some work. I think the O-line's in an okay spot to set us up for the draft. But I definitely want to get some more weapons on the wide receiver group. If we can find another tight end in this year's draft, why the heck not? But we need to set up this team for success, man. So that'll do it for us today, everybody. I really appreciate everyone that stopped by. If you like what you saw, please drop a like, leave a comment, and most importantly, subscribe to keep up with the series. I know this was a little bit of a longer episode, but I definitely wanted to let everyone see what we were looking to do. I think these Giants are in a really good spot. It's just hopefully we can kind of get this figured out, and maybe we can find some more success for this team. We only moved up 1 OVR as a team, maybe 2 OVR when it was all said and done, but I think this team's in a really good spot. Until next time, everyone, y'all have yourself a good one.